Hello everybody. I was once having a conversation with a McKinsey senior partner and he told me that, hey Pavan, I usually evaluate my career once every 2 years. I do check if I'm getting paid well, if I'm learning well, if my career trajectory is on the right path versus not. And that was a very important revelation for me that you need to have a certain time period once every few months or few years, whatever it works for you, and you need to keep evaluating your career. And in this video, I will talk about 5 such important points which you need to use into your own career evaluation so that you know if you are on track and what you need to do to get on track. And please do make sure to stay till the very end because I believe each and every minute can add a lot of value for you in this video. So let's get started with the first point. That is, go ahead, have a conversation with a skip level manager. And what does that mean? It means not your manager but your manager's manager in the hierarchy. And why is that important? Because your manager might have a limited overview, but your manager's manager with a little more experience can have that broader perspective of what are the 3 or 4 things that anybody at your level should be doing to attain your specific long-term goals, or anybody in your career path, what should they do so that they reach their long-term goals. And these conversations can help you understand what are the skills that you need to build on, what are the trainings that you need to take, whether it is internally within the company or externally outside the company, doesn't really matter. But these conversations, if you haven't had any, please do have these conversations. And that is how I got to have that conversation with a senior McKinsey partner. The second point I want to talk about is please take action based on the feedback that you receive from your manager's manager. And what do I mean by action over here? Understand what is that right specific course that you need to take, or what is the right specific training. Again, internally, externally, doesn't really matter. Identify the course and understand how it can help you, how it can also benefit the company. Because if you can lay out that path to the company, then they might actually sponsor your upskilling program fee. That is possible. In the description box, I'm giving you a Google form link which you can use for whatever upskilling program that you want to go ahead and pursue, and tell to your manager that, hey, this is the form that I'm submitting, these are the skills that I'm planning to gain from these courses, and this is how it is going to benefit the company. The form is designed specifically for problem solving skill and developing communication skill. And if you think you can do these courses and benefit, and also the company can benefit, go ahead and put in that form. The worst that can happen is that the manager would reject, but the best that can happen is they might sponsor your fee. The third point that I want to talk about is with respect to networking. And what do I mean by networking over here? If you are an electronics engineer, that electronics engineering thread, right, your profile is the common thing which connects you internally within your company and with the external world, most probably on LinkedIn or any other open-ended forums as well. So you need to know who you want to connect with. If that electronics engineering is not the right area for you personally, you might say, I want to go ahead and do an MBA. You might say that I want to go ahead and do a master's. Whatever that could be, connect with the people where you want to end up landing, or where the common thread takes you. Well, if you want to get into technical forums, then IEEE might be a right place. If you want to get into local chapters of Toastmasters to improve your communication skills, go ahead and do it. But you need to make sure you are building that network for the long term. Don't ask, what do I get from this network in the next 3 months or 6 months? Networks are there so that you can benefit from them in the long run, and you also need to add value so that a few months down the lane, a few years down the lane, if you want to recruit a team as you become a leader, you don't need to go ahead and put all your requests on Naukri or Monster or any other job search website. You can hire people from your own network. That reduces the time and that also increases the trust on you and also on the fellows. So please don't ignore that building network has long-term advantages within your own thread and your own profile. The fourth and the most interesting thing that I want to talk about is actually building a portfolio of projects and subsequently building a playbook. Now, this is very interesting, so please do listen to this carefully. If you go and ask a designer, interior designer, what do they say? Hey, this is my resume. Do they ever come up with a resume? No. They'll send you a Google Drive link and they'll say, hey, these are all the types of projects that I have done. And that's how you decide if the interior designer is somebody whom you want to go ahead with or not. Similarly, Similarly, if you are an electronics engineer, if you are a UI UX developer, if you are a consultant, doesn't really matter. You need to have that portfolio of projects. These portfolio of projects could be just one page for every project. These could talk about the situation of the project, what is the exact problem you are solving, what are the complications within the project, what are the key analysis that you have conducted, and what are the outcomes. Just these 4 questions answer for every single project, and then you do it for all the projects that you have done, and this becomes your portfolio. So when you go ahead and put in front of an interviewer, the interviewer knows what are all the complications that you have faced, what are all the analysis you have conducted. The interview conversation could become much more straightforward. And once you have this portfolio of projects, then go ahead and start building your personal playbook. And what do I mean by personal playbook? If you know Java, then talk about all the different components or features that you have worked on Java on one single page or one single Word document. What are the challenges you have faced across in the last 4 years, 5 years, or whatever number of years of work experience you have? And this playbook slowly will give you confidence so that you negotiate higher salaries when you go into any kind of discussion. Well, a lot of people, 99.9% of the people do not think about their careers in terms of playbooks. And what is a playbook? Playbook is nothing but a simple end-to-end guide of who you are in your professional terms. What are all the skill sets that you have? What are all the experiences that you have gathered so that you can solve ABCD challenges? Playbook is little more than just a resume, because in resume you have to write about your education, work experience, interests, hobbies, and the basic order is just based on your number of years of work experience. But in a playbook, you can just talk about, hey, these are all the skills that I have with respect to marketing or with respect to electronics. Do not ignore this. I plan to speak a lot more about playbooks in the next few episodes. If you believe that is helpful, do let me know in the comments, and do subscribe to the channel so that we can together build a playbook for you. And I believe that would be super helpful for you. Go ahead, like the video as well if you think a lot more people can benefit from this playbook approach. The 5th point that I want to talk about is building a benchmark for yourself. Every single 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, as I mentioned initially, you need to make sure that if you are reaching that benchmark with respect to the salary, with respect to the lifestyle, with respect to your career growth and learnings. Well, what do I mean by benchmarks? For example, I'm also giving a link to Michael Page's salary guide, which tells you if you have 10 years, 12 years, 15 years experience in a particular field, how much salary can you expect? If you are not up to that mark, then you need to take certain action. Similarly, go ahead, have conversations within your network and see what is the lifestyle benchmark. How many hours do they work if they are working in a specific field? Well, the lifestyle benchmark, if you are a finance professional, could be very different from the lifestyle benchmark if you are a software engineer. You can't expect to work from home, or you can't expect to have a very easy or a good lifestyle if you are an investment banker. So you are comparing yourself probably with other investment bankers. This comparison, once you do every 6 months, once every 12 months, you know whether you are on track versus not. And that is what was my manager doing initially. He was saying, I am benchmarking where I want to be and if I am on my track versus not, and I need to know if I'm not, then I probably have to leave my job at McKinsey. This is again a very important exercise. I hope you get to do these exercises right at the start of 2024 and continue to do it at your own frequency and pace. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this video is helpful. Do let me know if you have any other types of questions and I'll be happy to answer them. See you once again. Bye bye.